maybe by
You,
evening I will be in
is
a
it a
position
live
to
stream?
share the YouTube link for
Is it a
all.
streaming on
Yeah,
YouTube or it is offline?
I am doing it offline as of now, and I'll during the session I'll see if I can roll it on YouTube as well, because the only thing that we need for YouTube is a good bandwidth, because one side the presentation is happening and on the other side it's getting uploaded on YouTube. So just to avoid the bandwidth issue, I'm a little skeptical, but however I have started the recording, so hopefully once the session is over, I will be in a position to put it on YouTube and share with.
Mohsin, where shall we start? It is 10:59 now.
So
Yes,
whosoever log in first 500 will be able to continue with the session.
right. Mr. Tripathi, yes. Mr. Inaki, can you just display your video, please? Miss Helena as well. Miss Helena, can you hear us?
Yes, sorry, I muted myself. Yeah. I'm sharing my video.
All right. So, Mr. Ravi, let's begin the show.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good morning, and a very warm welcome to today's webinar on indigenization of solar manufacturing to India. I mean, in India post COVID-19 with international support. I am Ravi Kumar, consultant to Intersolar India, and I will be your host. This webinar is brought to you by Solar Promotion GmbH and Messe München India, the organizers of the Intersolar India event. As you know, Intersolar India is now called the Smarter E India, and it's a platform to promote the interests of the converging industries of solar, electrical storage, and the mobility industries. So at the outset, I would like to bring to your attention that, as you know, we are all working from home, and the broadband is under heavy stress, and it is very likely that we may find some interruption, and I request you to bear with us. We'll try to be back as quickly as possible, but this is an eventuality which we cannot really avoid. Now we are very excited that we had a great response to this webinar. We had as much as 1,200 plus registrations, and this webinar is aimed at having an informed discussions with experts who have been in this field for many years, and their deep insights would be of great importance to all of us in making the PV manufacturing in India possible as quickly as possible. So we have in today's webinar Dr. A.K. Tripathi. As you know, he is the Director General of the National Institute of Solar Energy, and followed by Mr. Sunil Rathi, who is the Director Sales and Marketing, Vari Energies. We have Mr. Chetan Shah, who is the promoter and director of Solex Energy. Mr. Inaki Legada, director, Mondragon Assembly. He's from Spain. And Miss Helena Lee, president of China Solar. And Mr. Ivan Saha, as you know, is the head of marketing and CTO Vikram Solar. We are all delighted to have all the speakers with us, and we warmly welcome them all. The speakers will present their perspectives, which will have discussion, perspectives for about 7 to 8 minutes, and then following that, we will have a discussion for about 20-30 minutes, and then we will end up with 10 minutes of Q&A. Now, I would also like to inform you that that if you have any questions, you have a tab at the bottom Q&A. Please enter your questions, and at the end, as I said, we will take up as many questions as possible. And I'm also happy to inform you that we would like to elicit your perspective as participants, because that is also very important. What you feel about what India should do as far as indigenization is concerned. So we will run poll questions between speakers. So please, you will get about 30 seconds to respond. There will be a very multiple choice options. You just, there will be a button. You just choose the button, and you can let us know about your perspective. Now, we have, of course, a lot of things to discuss about, and I think I should not be spending too much time, but then before I invite our first speaker, I would only like to share the fascinating story of the Indian auto industry. So as you know, 40 years back, the Indian auto industry was almost non-existent in the sense that the ownership of passenger cars or personal car was almost nil. And then at that time, the government of India thought, okay, let us develop a people's car and offer cars at an affordable price. So they set up this Maruti Udyog, and they invited Suzuki Corporation to join hands, and they set up, as you know, in 1981. So the government also said, please bring you a fully assembled car, so something like 40,000 or so, you sell them here. And then during that period, you slowly ramp up your supply chain. So they set a target of 33% over the 3 years, 2 years. But as you know, things don't move so fast, and they took their own time. But subsequently, realizing the importance, they ramped up quickly. And you know, as of today, 90% of the auto components are made indigenously, except for some electronic components, which still keeps coming from outside. And even in that space, they would like to indigenize the whole thing. So, you know, with this infrastructure developed, with a good value chain and supply chain established, you know, the auto majors from all over the world have set up their shop. And it is a matter of pride for all of us that within this period of time, India has grown to be one of the largest exporters of both passenger vehicles and also commercial vehicles. And indeed, it would be, I was really amazed when I got to know that 54% of the manufacturing volume for Suzuki comes from India. And auto industry contributes to about 7% of our country's GDP, and as much as 50% of our manufacturing GDP, which is amazing. So if an industry which was so dormant so many years back, if it could rise to this global level, I am very confident that we too can do this, replicate. We have some lessons to learn from them. It's not possible because we cannot make a similar, exactly same company, but there are many lessons which we can learn from them and then try to implement, because supply chain is one of our main handicap. So anyway, we have our panelists, experts who have who know and understand the manufacturing industry, the problems and challenges, and we will have a lot to listen from them. And it is now my pleasure, without much ado, to invite Dr. A.K. Tripathi to make his opening remarks and also give his well understood spectrum of the problems in the industry and what we can do. So, Dr. Tripathi, as you know, he obtained his MTech from IIT Kharagpur and PhD from IIT Delhi in biomass area energy. He also acquired a management degree from environmental sciences. He has over several decades of experience in planning, development, and implementation of variable renewable programs, particularly on biogas development. And I'm sure many of you will be very, very familiar with Mr. Dr. Tripathi, because he has been associated with the MNRE, and he has been associated with solar rooftop programs, village energy security programs, solar cities, and green building, and more importantly, he was also responsible for disseminating all that was happening around MNRE and the Government of India. So it is our immense pleasure to invite you to make your special address and highlight what are all the problems and what we need to do to indigenize the manufacturing here in the light of the explosive outcome of the COVID epidemic. Thank you, and over to you, Dr. Tripathi.
Thank you, and very good morning to all of you. Thank you, Ravi. I think this is a very important topic which we have taken. It has been a topic of my heart right from the beginning, and quite for a long time. But there are a lot of issues related to this. These needs to be discussed, and these needs to be focused right now. Post-COVID, it is one of the very relevant and important time. Before I proceed, just a little introduction about what I am doing right now. I am at present in the National Institute of Solar Energy. I'm heading that institution, and this institution works on research and development, testing and certification, capacity building, and consultancy. These are the basically 4 areas. And right from the beginning, we have been advocating this at many platforms, that in all the spheres, we must develop our indigenization of the manufacturing. In fact, in a solar system, solar panel is not the only one. This is one of the major component, but rest of the balance of system, we could see that even the Indians have started importing the structures and other small things. So I feel that we should focus all the systems together and work in this area. As far as the potential is concerned, I think I'll speak in some of the few points. I try to highlight the points, then we can discuss. I think the potential of manufacturing in India is immense. You very rightly gave the example of the Maruti. In fact, I remember about 25 years back, I advocated in MNRE to set up a Maruti-like manufacturing unit in the country. But there are many constraints. So what is still we find that there are a lot of potential of manufacturing in India because of our own indigenous market, which everybody knows it is over 10 to 15 gigawatt a year, and it's export also. So once we focus our manufacturing, we should also focus the export of it, not only fully it's having market in India. And we have in India, we have the assured market, as I just said. And the technical capability, the second point. I find we have the immense technical capability. Our many private players, they have really, they are still, in spite of all the challenges, they are manufacturing in the country. They are selling their products, and they are facing a lot of challenges also. There are many good names. I think everybody knows that. But the challenge is that the capacity which we manufacture is not sufficient to meet even our own demand. There are few challenges what I feel in the manufacturing sector that come. First is the raw material, which is silicon at present right now, and which needs to be imported even if we go for the complete manufacturing line of a solar cell. And the second thing is that what I feel is that if we can divide a solar module and solar cell, let us concentrate on solar panels, then there are two areas. One is the manufacturing of the solar cell, and another is the manufacturing of the solar modules. So as far as modules are concerned, I think there are many small scale industries, big industries, and even the large industries. They are doing quite well. They are manufacturing their modules by buying cells from our neighboring countries. So we need to strengthen our capability in manufacturing of the solar cell. There are a lot of technologies. The challenges are, the second challenge is that the quick change in the technologies, quick change in the systems. Like the PERC has come, now the PERC is leading the market, and after some time there are many CGIS and other cells which are in line. So the big challenge is that once we make our setup, and if the setup takes 2 years, then after 2 years the manufacturing line becomes little obsolete, and the changing R&D is very fast. So these things have to be kept in mind while designing the system. And over and above, the policy support is also very important from the government side. Although the government of India tried to attract the manufacturing in India through some scheme, but I think that scheme is not sufficient to attract the manufacturing base in India. We also have a challenge for good collaborations in solar panel manufacturing. But I also feel that now the time has come that our players should have their own manufacturing hub, and India can be made a good manufacturing hub in this region in collaboration with our Chinese companies and other countries also, where we can have a good collaboration and start manufacturing in India. I think in the case of inverters, a lot of beginning has already been made, and there are many big companies. They have collaborated in India, and they have set up their own plants. But in solar panel, we still need to concentrate. I feel that we are losing a lot of our foreign exchange in buying these solar panels from all over the world, because India, you can calculate yourself that if you install 15 gigawatt in a year, then how much you are paying to our foreign exchange. So all of these are, I feel these are the focal points where we should concentrate, we should discuss, we should make a concrete policy scenario. We should suggest to the government that what kind of the policies are required for this purpose. Jointly, we can work in this area, and we can bring the manufacturing hub slowly in our country. At this stage, there are many new technologies are coming up. I would like to inform that although the PERC solar cell has already been has come to the market, but in collaboration with BHEL, the NICE is developing its own manufacturing line. In fact, we were supposed to launch it by February or March, but due to this reason, we are postponing it at, I think, by June. If the things go well, then by the June end or so, the complete indigenous manufacturing line of PERC solar cell in collaboration with BHEL will come up in a reality. So at this stage, by flagging all these 5-6 issues, I would not like to take much time. And I think during the course of discussion, we can have more discussion on this. I would like to assure that the National Institute of Solar Energy will be very happy to join hands with the manufacturers, with the coming companies. At least since we have the certification capability, we have the testing capability, we have the research capability, and depending upon the requirement of the market, we can make it more useful for our manufacturers, those who intend to come to the country. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Ravi, I can't listen to you.
Ravi, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah. I'm very sorry. Thank you very much, Dr. Tripathi Sir, for your very enlightening presentation, and also tracing the history of India's PV manufacturing and all that has been done and what needs to be done, and also what NICE is doing. In fact, I had the great privilege of coming to your NICE. I mean, SEC as it was known earlier, and taking the lanterns which were made, in one of the earliest companies, Central Electronics Limited, I used to interact. And from that time, 30 years back to now, how you have grown, how you have been continuously supporting the solar industry is amazing. And of course, you have also accommodated the ISA, the International Solar Alliance, and you have got great opportunity to be a bridge between the Indian companies and also the several companies who would be coming there to discuss with the officials in the ISA, and you could really be a contributor to the dream and wishes of every citizen of this nation to build India as a big manufacturing. Thank you very much, sir. We will again join for the discussion. Now, let us move on to the next speaker, Mr. Sunil Rathi, who is the Director, Sales and Marketing. And can you please, Mohsin, put the presentation of it, or Mr. Sunil, you yourself can display your presentation, please. Okay, I will. Can you please move to the next one? I will just introduce you to our, because So we have Mr. Sunil. I know him for the last 2 decades, and he has been one of the top leaders in the industry. And currently, he is the Director, Sales and Marketing, and he has got 30 years of professional experience, 10 years of experience in the international solar business. And he's, as you know, Waaree is having about 2 gigawatts of manufacturing. They've got ambitious plan. And I would also like to share that when I was speaking to him, he was bubbling with energy. He said that I am going to speak positive and I am very upbeat and our company is upbeat. And we are in there and we will do everything possible to see that we will be in the forefront to do whatever that we can do. So over to you, Mr. Rathi. We are very happy to have you. Please share your experience and what dreams you have and what you want to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tripathi. In line with your thought, I have something to present here. About my company, we are 30 years old industry experience company. We have already 2.8 gigawatt of module we have already supplied with current capacity of 2 gigawatt manufacturing in India. We also have tier 1 title for last 23 quarters, and that is consistent. We are a sustainable company with year-on-year growth 35% CAGR. We have also exported to 68 countries. We started our EPC wing in 2010, and currently we have completed 600 plus megawatt of projects all over India. In addition to that, we have also completed 50 megawatt in Vietnam, which was completed in less than 100 days. We are also into the pump business. We are also into the rooftop business. We are also into the telecom towers. Putting all together, we have done more than 7,000 projects across the country. We are the India's largest sales and service center company. Currently, we have 400 plus franchisees, or we normally call as a Waaree Experience Center across the country. In addition to that, 3 more experience centers are coming globally, which will be in the Southeast Asia as well as in the Africa region. We are also into the energy solution systems. We started our manufacturing unit of lithium and battery recently. Did not to say that we are India's #1 model manufacturing company. That's what BTI report says. Most important is a company employed 3,000 plus people as on date. Going forward, in the next 5 minutes, I'll be covering these topics. Post COVID-19, what are the challenges and what are the opportunities? Or I would say how we convert the challenges to the opportunity. Post first lockdown in China, it created a definite need for the local manufacturing across the world. Every country started thinking that they have to have local manufacturing within the country, even though it is economical or non-economical. Going forward, a single country model for manufacturing is not going to work. For sure, it is not going to work. We have to look for the multi-country sourcing as well as multi-people or multi-company sourcing strategy going forward. Well, global disruption has prompted business diversify and de-risk their supply chain. As Mr. Tripathi said, there is a still 100 out of 100 gigawatt, there is a still 60 gigawatt installation is to be completed. And this is another big opportunity for Indian manufacturer or indigenization of manufacturing. For Indian buyer, indigenization of manufacturing and local sourcing is now critical. Post lockdown, what will happen? I think with the right policies and right support, India can become a global solar manufacturing hub. To the next one. Need for indigenization of solar manufacturing. If you look at from the industry perspective, de-risk and diversify supply chain. Supporting the country during the slowing economy. This is very important. And reducing foreign exchange dependency. We really need to be an export surplus company rather than an import company. And this is a need of an hour. What is from the government side? What is the benefit government is going to get? A, job creation. B, success of Make in India. And the last most important is energy security. Almost 90% of solar panel and the BOM required in India is dependent on one country, which is really biggest threat going forward. If you look at on the right hand side, you will see there are certain numbers which says that PV model manufacturing, we are 10 gigawatt right now with a cell manufacturing 2.5 gigawatt. Wafer and ingot, we do not have any manufacturing facility in the country. Polysilicon, zero. And BOM like EVA, backsheet, and is practically negligible. What are the global opportunities we have? Current lockdown has really opened the global market for all Indians. To achieve our economic aspiration, India should look at the world as a market. We should not restrict ourselves to the domestic anymore. We should look world as a market and think as we have to create the manufacturing for world, not just for the domestic. With the right strategy, India can become a global supplier very soon. Look at the right side of your screen. You will see there is a chart. What is the chart say? This is the impact of first lockdown on various countries. Let's go to the top, which is European Union. Has impacted largely, followed by United States and Japan. Now, when you look at the chart, it gives you opportunity here. It says that these are the countries where which will have the biggest demand, and we can expand our business in these countries, because these countries will look for the alternative supply post first lockdown. Whenever we talk about indigenization, I think Waaree is the best example. We started with 30 megawatt of manufacturing capacity in 2007. We have grown exponentially year on year. Currently, we have 2 gigawatt of manufacturing capacity, which is India's largest manufacturing, with employing 3,000 plus people. Well, that's not here or. We are, in addition to the 2 gigawatt, we are adding another 2 gigawatt model manufacturing capacity, which will be live by end of 2020 or 2021, totaling to the 4 gigawatt per annum by end of 20 or maybe by start of 2021. That's not all. We would also be adding cell manufacturing, and that is going to be a 1 gigawatt cell manufacturing, which will be the first phase. And I expect that this, maybe if COVID doesn't delay further, then we should be expected to get it live by 2021. Well, Waaree's success story is an example of resilience and competitiveness of Indian business against the foreign firms who have grown with the state support, subsidies, tax benefit, and freebies like free land, easy access to the capital, free working capital, and export subsidies. Nothing was available in our plate. Currently, we have created 3,000 plus direct jobs and 10,000 plus indirect jobs. Over next 2 years, I think we will double it up. When I look at the indigenization, okay, I am looking for support from the government, and I'm sure there will be a much bigger list than what I have mentioned here. To start with, which are the most important things which is required from government to create the indigenization, is access to low-cost financing. We are definitely looking for export subsidies, capital subsidies, and manufacturing subsidies. Most important going forward, when we look for the ingot manufacturing, subsidized electricity will be playing a major role. We can also look for a land at a long-term lease at a minimal cost. Definitely, we are looking protection against the dumping in the form of HGD or then ADD, or going ahead, we can talk about the BCD, which will ensure that the low quality or dumping is not hampering the domestic manufacturing. Setup of solar manufacturing hub for complete value chain, that's from ingot to model, is the need of an hour. What support I am looking from the industry? See, indigenization is not possible without industry support, which means I am looking that the people from the industry should have a priority for local sourcing, and they insist for Make in India product. Lender and financial institute will make a major role. They have to insist for Make in India product whenever they are lending any loans to the developer. And this will be a game changer for the domestic industry. Diversify supply chain to insist 50% source from India and increase it gradually. Well, investment in expanding solar value chain, that's from ingot to module, or plus additional like BOM, cell, I would say here backsheet, EVA, glass, these are also the requirement. Well, we really need to create the environment where foreign direct investment is in the industry is more feasible. To conclude my presentation, I suggest that post-COVID-19, we need to convert it into the opportunity to expand our global footprint. With the right policies, India can become the next high-quality solar manufacturing hub in the world. And I think this is much more possible considering the first lockdown. Internationally, people are looking India is optional for the supply of solar module and the AD and the other parts. What is the way forward? Investment in the complete solar value chain from ingot to module, including other balance of equipment. As Ravi mentioned, auto industry model is something which is required currently in the solar industry. In a small radius, we have, say we are talking about a 15 gigawatt of complete value chain, right from ingot, wafer, cell, module, and support BOM like glass, EVA, backsheet. Everything is manufactured in the radius of 10 kilometers to 20 kilometers near the port and having a capacity of 15 gigawatt plus. As Dr. Tripathi has mentioned that BHEL and they're coming with cell line, that's a needle, that's very important. I would suggest that PSU should come forward in collaboration with the private players. They should come and invest into the ingot manufacturing, which is a very capital intensive process. Well, we Indians find always opportunity in every problem. Now the challenge is upon us. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay at home.
Thank you very much, Tripathi ji. Rathi ji. It was such an excellent presentation, and actually you concluded it so very well, and that shows the dreams that you have entertained and the positivity you have been exuding. So thanks very much for telling us all about what you have done and sharing your experience and your thoughts on how we can build a big, make India as one of the big hubs for manufacturing. So thanks very much. And we have now the poll, a question which I was referring to, and it would be displayed on your screen right now, and you will have 30 seconds. Yeah?
Here we go.
Yeah, so please, you take 30 seconds to see this, and whatever you feel strongly about, you press that button, and then after the 30 seconds, the results will be displayed on your screen. So the question is, has the time come for India to become a global PV manufacturing hub? So you have the option of using strongly agree, not sure, or you say that no, there is no need for going there. Let us focus on EPC. Let us make India #1 in EPC. Yeah. So Mohsin,
we close in few seconds.
Okay, great. Yeah. We wait for time.
I think we are getting a good response from the audience. So let's wait for a few more seconds here.
Yeah, yeah. When you wait, really, you feel the time was very.
We reach 90% of the audience voting it, and then we close.
Yeah, okay, great.
Mohsin, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah.
Why there is some issue, is it in that? Okay, so sorry, there is some technical issues. We will
No.
hold on to the result as to
Yeah.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
great. So the result is out. So 3% strongly agree. And even though I thought this could be something which may be interest EPC, no, nobody says EPC. Yeah, we are have good at service, but then let's stick to this. We have to go for manufacturing 63%. And if you also take 23, 29, so together, a massive 92% say that we have to go for manufacturing. That's a good perspective. And thank you very much, participants, for your perspective. Thanks very much. So now let us move on to the next speaker. We have with us Mr. Chetan Shah. Mr. Chetan Shah, can you please display your presentation? Yeah. So please, the first slide, please. First slide, please. I would like to, first slide. Yeah. So we have Mr. Chetan Shah. So you can see his photograph, and of course, when he speaks to you, you will see him live. And see, Chetan Shah is the promoter and director of Solex Energy. And as you know, he was earlier the founder and former director of former director of Goldi Solar. Goldi Solar, I remember it was started as a small company. Now it has risen to be one of the largest manufacturers of modules in this country. So that here is another example how from a small company you can really build big enterprise. So he's now currently promoter and director of Solex Energy, which is based out in Surat, in the business of information technology. So we have another gentleman from the IT industry who has found interest in renewable energy, and he has come here. So as president of the Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce, and then he was invited by none other than the former President Obama to discuss on the city resilience strategy as part of the World Habitat Day celebration in 2009. So we are very happy to have you, Mr. Chetan Shah. It's for you to share your wide experience and knowledge and your perspective. Please.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you so much for my introduction. Basically, this is something which is very, it's a really great moment for all of us to, discuss on the topic during this lockdown period. And I think the most important thing which we have discussed, Mr. Tripathi and Mr. Rathi has mentioned, that the opportunity in India. Now, basically, up till now, what we have considered Indian manufacturing, solar equipment manufacturing, that we have opportunity. We have always compared with the opportunity of 100 gigawatt that is the business which is lying in India, and that's the reason we need manufacturing. According to me, that's a totally wrong approach, and how we have to approach if we really want the India as a manufacturing hub, that I'll discuss with you in our presentation. But this is a short brief about our company. We are coming up with a 1 gigawatt module manufacturing at Surat. Unfortunately, due to this lockdown period, the project has been delayed for a couple of months. But I think by the end of 2020, we'll be ready with the manufacturing. And then the rest is the rest of the points are already discussed. We are already into the EPC. We have a lot of government projects on hand, and we are coming up with the PPAs also. So friends, basically, what are the challenges? Why India is not till now, why we have not been able to do anything in terms of a manufacturing, in terms of the manufacturing of the complete value chain. So let us discuss what are the challenges that we have it and what could be the possible solution. There are certain areas where I would like to say it is a sort of a disclaimer that these are the purely my individual views, and so not to take it other way. There are areas where we are expecting a lot of things from government. So there is a major role from the government side to play. So the first is a lack of focus on manufacturing on large scale like automobile and electronic sectors. I still remember the Tata Nano issue when they were asked to go out of West Bengal, and then all other states, they were just they approached Tata, Ratan Tata, and then they invited him to establish the manufacturing in their state, and then ultimately at the end of the day it was Gujarat. So basically, in same thing is happening in electronic sector also. If we really want PV manufacturing, we really need a special focus in terms of everything, because there is a lot of capital which is required and a lot of land and permissions, and it requires a lot of backup as a policy also. So I think this, if we are targeting 100 gigawatt in India, then we will not be able to do that. But if we really target India as a manufacturing and one of a global supplier like our friend China, I think it requires a total holistic approach from top to bottom. So this is what is the area where we need to change our vision. We need to change our angle. So it is not only 100 gigawatt in India, but it is a global market. So the second point is, because we have a limited time, so I'll not be elaborate on each and every point in detail during my presentation, but we can discuss this thing in detail during the discussions. No advantage to invest in high efficiency and future technology. There are many countries, they encourage high efficiency and future technology product like solar panel. I remember China, in China, in case if you, when the monoPERC was at a beginning stage, then the China government came up with the special incentive if you use monoPERC modules. So basically, ultimately what happened, like people invested in manufacturing of those high efficiency and future technology. So India really needs to focus, and all the government tenders, they need to come out with these options that if you use high efficiency or a future technology, you have a more tariff. I think those things will definitely encourage back-end system, that is which is a manufacturing purely. Another point is the confusing taxation and complex legal structure for foreign investors. We know Vodafone, which is very popular issue that which we had in India. So basically, we need to be foreign investment friendly country, so that at least what I propose is there has to be a tax exemption on sharing of income to foreign investor for 10 years. If you really want foreign countries to invest, because if India wants to become a manufacturing hub or manufacturing giant for the supply of the solar equipment globally, then we cannot do it on our own. We need foreign partners, we need foreign investors. We need to talk to China, Malaysia or Japan or Germany and US, everybody to come and invest in India. And for that, we need to give them this kind of attraction. So I think this is one of the points which I wanted to highlight here. Unutilized existing manufacturing capacity due to uncertainty of domestic projects timeline. Mr. Rathi mentioned that we have a 10 gigawatt model manufacturing installed capacity in India and 2.5 gigawatt cell installed capacity in India. But unfortunately, the utilization of this capacity is not that up to, even sometimes it is 60%, I would say. So, because of this Indian market uncertainty in the Indian domestic projects timeline, there are no major manufacturing which is coming up. So if somebody is talking about 2 gigawatt, 3 gigawatt, 5 gigawatt, he is not sure whether he will be able to sell 2 gigawatt, 3 gigawatt in India or not, or the cell is 60% of its capacity in India or not. So basically, India need to strengthen its domestic project timeline, and Indian government needs to ensure that all the capacity which is installed, at least 80% capacity is utilized for the domestic projects. More utilization of capacity will attract more investment in manufacturing. So if I have my 80% of the capacity is utilized, then definitely even the current units also will expand their capacity. They put in more money into the expansion of and the foreign company will also come. Too many product certifications registration. This is, I think probably India is the only country where we get into a lot of things and some of the things are, it is very costly and which comes at a very short interval. Like we have IEC, which is a international standard, then BIS came up to ensure that we have Indian standards, and then we restrict so many outside, outside other countries to, not to dump the subsidized, substandard modules. Then we came out with the LLM. So coming out with such options, yes, no doubt this is to encourage the domestic manufacturing, but this is adding a lot of confusion. So we need to come out with a very long-term registration and certification program. IEC and BIS is almost, there is nothing new in BIS. It's a copy of BIS. So, but then a lot of efforts and money went into this. No focus on indigenization of complete value chain. We are talking about cells and modules. That's what is, we consider it as a solar equipment. But we really need to focus on manufacturing of inverters and other raw material which are used in production of cells and modules. Sorry to say, but India even we do not have a capacity to produce a good quality of aluminum frame also. So we need to develop that strength in India. And a lot of other material, EVA is very in small numbers, and the other raw material also. So we
Mr. Chetan, sorry for interrupting. If you could conclude in 1 or 2 minutes, we would appreciate it.
I'll do that. Yeah. So another point is a 0% production of machines and equipment used in manufacturing of solar product. Means what? Like India, we are unable to produce any equipment which are being used in manufacturing. So we are importing from other countries. So I think we need to develop this manufacturing of the equipment also. We really need to focus. If you want India to develop as a major manufacturing of the solar equipment, then we must develop this area also. This is totally ignored area as far as the India is concerned. And the last point is confusion for manufacturers, whether it is MNRE or METI. As per the METI, that is Ministry of Electronics and IT, the solar and the semiconductor is a part of MEITY, right? So the solar falls under the MEITY. But then, MNRE is discussing, and they have taken a lead for the solar program. So India is still confused. In case if we want to come out, why I'm repeating this again, because these are the points where we really need to focus. Solar equipment manufacturing in India should be brought under MNRE with special budget and independent department for effective action. Because it is not that we are talking about 20 years, we are talking about 5 years and 10 years program. So we really need dedicated people, dedicated, focus approach, and then I think a policy. Then there are other points which I would like to run through quickly. Uncertainty of government support for capital subsidy scheme, which already mentioned by Mr. Rathi, that MSIPs, there is a lot of uncertainty in MSIPs and there are no such incentives available right now. And particularly for the foreign investment, because as I said, we need foreigners to come to India. So in case if somebody is forming a JV with Indian units, then there should be a special incentive. For export for solar equipment. Finance cost, which is already mentioned by Mr. Rathi. Modules should have more duties for 3 years and compared to cells, and the cell manufacture, after 3 years we can align cell manufacturing at the same duty. Meanwhile, for the 3 years, cell manufacturer need to give some assurance of a business up to 75% with the competitive rate. So lastly, what I wanted to say, if you want to get to the heaven, you yourself have to die. So if somebody else will die, you will not be able to go to the heaven. So basically, we need to do it as a India, as a government of India, as an entrepreneur of India. We got to do. If we die, we will get to the heaven. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chetan ji, for your nice presentation. Actually, who else can do capture all the challenges other than you? Because you have founded a company and then you had gone through building a very decent capacity, and you are now up in building another company. So definitely all those challenges you put out, and also the solutions you suggested, definitely if those could be picked up and built on, I'm sure we will be on the right track in building a big building India as a manufacturer. Thank you so much. It was again to